What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Awesome Show. Today we're looking at the Super7 ThunderCats Ultimates Wave 4 action figures. So of course we've had to skip over Wave 2, which actually at this point in time we do have shipping for it, but we've had to skip on past that and we've already done Wave 3. So we have Wave 4 here, which has some pretty cool characters. No like major characters I would say, but some pretty cool ones. So first off, for the good guy characters, we have Lynx-O, which looks pretty awesome. So another one of like our ThunderCats characters, as well as Snowman of Hook Mountain, which looks pretty cool. It's just like a big Yeti guy, which is awesome. And then for our bad guys, we have Pumm-Ra, which is Pomra in disguise, and Monkiyin, which is a good villain for like our mutants. So those look pretty cool as well. So this is a pretty cool looking wave with like different characters and stuff. Like I said, no real main characters. I'd probably say like Monkeyin's like the biggest like name we have for this set just for the villains, but everyone else is just kind of like more like side characters and not really that major for the ThunderCats groups or anything, but pretty awesome characters like I said, and figures just designed just overall. So I'm excited to check them out. So let me get them out of the box and we'll take a look at them. Well, let's start off the wave with Lynx, of course based off a lynx. He is the oldest of all the alive ThunderCats and was blinded by a fire explosion during the destruction of Thundera, but he was able to fine-tune his other senses to a point where he could sense things others could not, and has a nerve pinch that can instantly knock an enemy out. So he looks pretty cool overall here. Reminds me a lot of like an old-time wrestler, just with the design, of course with the face and the headband and stuff. Reminds me of like Hulk Hogan, but just with the old outfit. So it looks like he's got the, of course, the spandex like outfit. Well, that's what reminds me of like the wrestlers, with the black shirt and pants and stuff on underneath. So just a funny looking character to me, but looks pretty cool overall as well. So as I mentioned, he has the features of the lynx, so like especially you see it in the ears with like the black tips on it. But I like his facial hair with the orange and black designs and stuff. Of course his blinded eyes that just look like they're all oranged out or whatever in there, but again with some of the designs of the lynx with the black and white designs. The headband on, as I mentioned, and is all bald head, so kind of showing the age there. As I mentioned, the black like spandex or whatever on over top. I like how he's got a short sleeve on one side and a longer sleeve going down the arm on the other. The ThunderCats logo there in the center, of course, with the cat on the red spandex with an orange belt, black leggings going all the way down to he's got the wrapped up legs there with this sort of like light brown color into the red boots, and just looks really cool. And there you can even see on his hands the transition from this more like lighter brown color into the tan of the body color. So pretty nice just looking figure overall here for this Lynx-O. But for his movements, we get the head that can twist all the way around. May have some issues with like the facial hair there, of course not too much, but like there you can see it sort of scraping there, so you got to be careful. But you can look down just about that far and up just very much. So pretty much very little movement, just a little bit of shaking of the head. The shoulders can come up about 90, a little bit under there, unfortunately, just with like his shoulder design, so it only goes that far, but can rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist, so it doesn't twist too much, but it's there. And then we get the single elbow joint that just bends under 90 with the twist as well, and the wrist that can twist around and flex back and forth, and his claws are real sharp, so I'm just poking myself with them. But we have the ab crunch in the middle here, so crunch forward and crunch back. So not a lot of crunching. That's one thing with like the Super 7s. They have the ab crunches, but don't really crunch too much with these. But twist all the way around at the waist as well. Hips can come up under 90 there, of course, with like the underwear piece kind of letting it up a little bit more, but not too far. And then out to the side, very close. Yeah, I can do the splits. A little bit of thigh twist up in there. A single knee joint that bends to the back that far. And then there is also a twist in the lower section of the leg, so it can twist around there as well. And then we get the foot that flexes back and forth and can twist side to side. So that is one thing with a lot of these ThunderCats. They don't have the best movements overall, but I think the execution of the looks and stuff, and then you can get them into some poses and everything, isn't too bad overall. Just I wish they were a little bit better, unfortunately. Now for accessories, he comes with a good number of them, as a lot of these do. So first off, we get another head here. So like this one where he sort of like got his teeth like he's angry and stuff. So that'd probably be a cool face to put on, especially if like for fighting poses and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. So just in a face, and again, still looks like Hulk Hogan, especially with like the mustache design. We get a bunch of hands. It looks like we just got two of the exact same set of hands. So we have the hands here with like these sort of grip designs. So we have those two, but once again, we have another set that pretty much exactly like it. Oh, I just remember now. So one has a joint with the back and forth, where the other set have an up and down. So that is the main difference there. So it is the exact same hand, just with an up and down or a side to side joint. For like a weapon, he comes with his light shield. So the shield piece, so has the clip that can go into the arm, and then it's just the shield design piece. So it's a light shield that reflects energy attacks and light back at enemies, and it can also project light. So that sounds pretty cool, I guess. But we can go and take this and just maybe clip it on one of his arms. So unfortunately it is that like clip design, so I feel it won't like work out too well or anything, but there you can have him with light shield. That looks pretty cool. Also with Lynx-O being blind, they do develop a braille board. So we have this awesome board that you can like learn and communicate. So it has all these like little squares with like the braille feeling. So all the little bumps, even like some like dials and stuff, which I was surprised when I got this, like how good it was painted. Like no real major issues, you know, with just all these little like squares being painted. Wasn't much of an issue until this upper corner there where they sort of messed up a little bit. But otherwise they painted it really good. So it's a really nice design. I like how it's sort of like thicker at the back, which is cool. And then has the designs there on the back as well. So it looks very mechanical and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. It'd be nice to have like a table to sit this on, but I'm sure with like hands or something you could try to like get it into his hand like he's actually holding it. But that's cool that he comes with that. And finally we also get a tile from the tile of the fountain, which turned the caverns of cold into beautiful gardens of Thundera. So a nice little tile there that has magical properties and stuff. So pretty cool. He comes with that. Again, very minor thing. Probably a lot of people wouldn't remember anything. I of course had to look it up, but a nice little piece, you know, from the show and stuff that they threw in there included along with it. So like I said, overall not the best figure like movement wise, but I do really like the look. And of course they carry out, like I said, the looks of the Thundercats just have limited movement. So not a bad figure at all. And next up for the wave, we have Snowman of Hook Mountain, which lives in the castle of the Snowman on Hook Mountain and has a big cat named Snow Meow that Lynx-O was able to tame. And through that, he becomes an ally of the Thundercats and joins the League of Third Earth. And so overall, this is a pretty cool figure. It's a big, bulky character, so he's really tall and thick. So that's pretty cool. And just so you can see the difference, here's Lynx-O. So you can see just how big it is compared to the Thundercats and everything. So he's a huge monster, but he looks pretty cool overall. So he's got this nice helmet piece that I've already just kind of thrown on since that's how it came in, but we can take it off, so it's just a nice big helmet armor that you can put on if you want. But there's what he looks like underneath. So it's kind of like a Monkeyin, almost like a Bigfoot or something like that, but he also has like cat-like looks to him as well, just with the like eye design and the little face piece here. Also looks like cats to me, so like of course would fit in with like Thundercats, but I think it's supposed to be an ape-like man. But since he's like a snowman and lives on a mountain and stuff with snow, he's in all fur, so he has this nice like blue jacket on over top that has like this fur piece there up around the collar, has a little hood there in the back as well, with a lighter blue shirt underneath, so you can see it there around his neck, and then the sleeves coming down there, belt wrapped around his waist in the light blue, and then like the tunic piece of the shirt coming down, and then some light blue pants going into fur once again. So he's got these furry boots that go all the way up his legs pretty far, and then with being an ape-like man, he also has the hands so they look humanish and stuff, but have the fur on the back of him like an ape. So pretty nice looking figure overall. Like I said, with it being big and bulky, it makes it really cool, but unfortunately with him being big and bulky, we're going to lose a lot of movements. So for those movements that can twist around there, it looks like, yeah, you can twist it all the way around. May once again have some issues with like his beard being look down that far and up that far, so again, very little movements there in the neck. For the shoulders, they can come up to 90 degrees, so this like fur piece here is just all soft, so it gets out of the way, so it comes up that far to 90 and rotates around within there. We get the single elbow joint that bends to about 90 there and has some rotation, as well as the wrist that twists around and flex back and forth. Now he has an ab crunch in here. You can see if you lift the hair up there, so you can see the ab crunch, but unfortunately he crunches just very little, again, mostly back, but just a little crunching back and forth. A twist all the way around at the waist. The hips can come up under 90 there a little bit, so not too far off, and then out to the side a little bit. Thigh twist, and then we get a knee joint, but unfortunately with all the fur and stuff, we don't really get it. It just bends a little bit back and forth there, unfortunately, so just a little bit, but it has the twist in there as well. And finally we have the foot that flexes back and forth a little bit and can twist a little side to side. So like I said, unfortunately we lose a lot of movements because of his bulkiness and stuff, but still pretty cool figure to have this big thing to go along with the rest of our figures is pretty cool. Now for accessories, as I kind of already showed, he had the helmet piece, the helmet that you can just sit on his head. It makes him look a little bit more mean and stuff because his head looks a little bit too small for his body without it, but just a nice armor helmet piece there that you can stick on his head. We get some additional hands, so he had like the open hands, you know, they're kind of like that. We get a set of fist hands, so again, if you want to have pins for like punching and stuff, and then we also get a set of grip hands, and with those grips we can give him some weapons. So he's known for using ice weapons and known for being good at combat as well. So first off, we have an ice shield, so it just looks like a big opaque piece of plastic that's supposed to be ice, has the nice handle piece there in the back. So pretty cool design overall. I assume with the hands you could probably put if you put the grip hands, but it'd probably work with these hands as well. Yeah, it probably won't stay on very well, but just with the hands he has, you could use that. So there he's got like a nice shield, which is pretty cool. And then for other weapons, he's got an ice lance, so almost like you see, you know, the horse riders for like jousting and everything, which is pretty cool. So this like cone shape that comes up into the point, and then the handle as well, again, all in the ice, so the opaque plastic, which is pretty cool. So with the grip hands with his other hand, we can put that in there, so we can switch that out if we want, or we can give him a spear, which is pretty cool. Again, same sort of design, so nice spear tip there with the long handle piece there, all in the opaque plastic once again. So pretty nice weapon, so we can choose either one. I don't believe, at least from what I read, like listing from the cartoon, he doesn't really use a spear. At least, like I said, it wasn't listed as one, but he does use the lance, so let's go ahead and give him the lance. So there I got the lance in his hands, and it'd be cool if you could pose him. Of course, you can't really get him like twisted to the side or anything to be like he's actually fighting, but looks pretty cool there all together, or we can just have it standing straight up or whatever. But looks pretty cool there with the weapons, the ice weapons and stuff. That is pretty dang awesome overall for the Snowman of Hook Mountain. And next up we have Pumm-Ra, which is Monkeyin in disguise as a survivor of Thundera. And so the Thundercats take him into their cat's lair, and at night he sabotages the lair and steals the Sword of Omens as well as the Claw Shield, and then he tries to use the weapons against Lynx-O, but Jaga had put a protection on them that they can't be used for evil purposes, so his whole plan was foiled. So he looks pretty cool here. I like the outfit design, so you know, just looks like a cat. I assume to be a puma since that's a part of his name, but overall just looks like a lion or something. Reminds me of like Scar from the Lion King, but just looks like a cat form of some sort with this cloth over the top, which looks pretty cool. So he's got the missing eye, so I like how that has the eye patch and stuff. Of course, this one has the head with the mouth open and the long hair going to the back, like I said, with that black color. Reminds me of Scar, and then the eye patch and stuff. But then his outfit is this like cloth material over the top, which has nice like flow and stuff to it. I like the lighter brown color or tan with the darker brown as well. And then like this piece here does also have like a metal wire and stuff, so it like easily can wrap around him and stuff to keep it up on him. Just took a piece of fabric or material he found and just covered himself with clothes and stuff to look even more desperate. And then just his overall design, so I like the chest, you know, looking like, I guess, the cat with the different colors there, so more like a white like around his mouth as well, but they're on his chest section. And then going down his legs, he's got the darker legs there that transition, which is pretty cool just overall. So obviously nothing too crazy since this isn't like a real character or anything, but I like the detail they put into it, and the look of the cat and stuff looks pretty nice with the clothes and all that. So for its movements, that can twist all the way around there, so pretty good. Just the hair kind of catches on the cloth some, unfortunately, and you look down just pretty much where it's at and up a little bit. So once again, very little movements there, but the shoulders can come up, which for this one is pretty hard because of the tightness of the cloth, but maybe we can do on this side, can come up to 90, rotate of course around within there. We get the bicep twist, the single elbow joint that bends under 90, and then we get the wrist, of course, that can twist around and flex back and forth. We have the ab crunch in the middle, you can see there, so it can crunch forward, crunch back a little bit there, so pretty good crunching, the best crunching out of all the figures so far, and twist around at the waist. And then we get the hips that can come up under 90 there, once again, out to the side that far, thigh twist in there, a single knee joint that bends back to 90, and then has the lower rotation piece again, with the foot that flexes back and forth and can twist side to side. So not too bad overall. Overall has some of the best movements, but unfortunately, like I said, with the cloth material that I don't want to take off and get messed up and stuff, I just kind of want to leave it. Unfortunately, has limitations with this side, but with the looser arm piece over here, we can move it a lot easier. But like I said, overall has the best movements with like the ab crunch and the joints and stuff, so not a bad figure at all. Now it comes with a number of accessories, so we get an additional head, so this one has the mouth closed, so probably be like the best version for me, just because I think with his mouth open, he's kind of giving away that he's a bad guy. But overall, this head looks pretty nice. And also with this, we get an additional head for the big Pomra version from Wave 2 that we don't have yet, but like I mentioned, it has shipped already, so we'll be having that up pretty soon, so we'll have to put this on that. But just this bigger oversized head, so you can see the size comparisons there between the two. So like I said, they made it bigger for that bigger body. We get some additional hands, so we have the grip hands once again, and once again we have two sets of them, so these ones have the up and down joints, and then the other set has the back and forth joints. For weapons, as I mentioned, the weapons he steals, so he has the Sword of Omens, so we have the sword here just all wrapped up and in the shrunken down form, so he steals that, as well as the claw shield, so we have the claw shield here as well that you can slide onto his hand if you want. You probably have to switch the hand out to get it up in there, but can switch that out and give him the shield. And finally, he comes with a communicator, so I assume a communicator for the bad guys. Nice purple design with the metallic and some gold around there as well. Looks just pretty nice overall for him, so probably once his sort of the jig is up on him and he's been caught, he can call to be rescued by some of the mutants. But pretty nice figure overall. And of course, he sneaks in with the ThunderCats. So we can bring in the Lynx-O once again so you can see the height comparison stuff. So pretty similar just overall. Of course, Lynx-O's hair is just all crazy. So pretty similar in height. And then we also have Pomra here, the form that we do have already. So you can see, just since it is the same character, I guess, just different forms, but with the spell on him to transform him into that. But once you get the big Pomra, that'd be more, I guess, the size and everything. But overall, Pumm-Ra is a pretty cool character. But like I said, since it's just like from one episode of the show, not that big of anything. But we could just always, like I said, switch that out to the more docile version and just use it as another ThunderCat thrown in there just to add to the cat's line. Pretty decent figure overall. And finally, we have Monkeyin, which is the leader of the Monkeyins from Plundar and is a member of the Evil Mutants along with Slythe and Jackalman. But he's overall just pretty much a humanoid monkey with white fur and tan skin and looks pretty cool overall. So it does look like the Evil Mutants that go along with the others, so that is pretty cool. So I like his face, it does have the monkey face there. So he has the mouth with the teeth and tongue and everything there. His eyes, of course, look pretty monkeyish and stuff, and just overall facial features. But then has the white hair, so has the like beard sort of stuff coming down along with the white hair in the back, and then has the white fur, so up on the shoulder pieces and down on the back as well. So I like that transition from like the tan fur into the white fur, which is pretty cool. So then in the front has the tan fur and has that fur texture just all over the front of him and on his arms and legs. A red like loincloth there with some leather straps like up on his arms and around his arm there, as well as a piece that's here and wraps all the way down his leg, which is pretty cool with a nice little spike on there, and then just some leather straps on the other one all the way down to his feet, where he's got, I guess, the monkey-like feet, so the big separation of the toes there with the claws on them. So pretty nice looking figure just overall. I like his helmet as well with the spike on the front and the little green strap hanging down, and so pretty nice just looking figure overall. But for movements, we get the head that can twist a little side to side, which I figured with the hair and the fur wouldn't get too much, which it looks like. It looks down a little bit, up a little bit, so again, not very much movement at all. Shoulders can come up to 90 and rotate around within there. Bicep twist, single elbow joint that bends again under 90 and has rotation. The wrist that can twist around and flex back and forth. The ab crunch in the middle there, so once again, crunches barely anything forward and just a little bit back, so once again, very little crunching and the worst out of all the figures, and twist all the way around at the waist. Hips can come up under 90 once again, out to the side a little bit there, not too far off, it looks like, from doing the splits. Has a little bit of thigh twist in there. A single knee joint that bends back under 90, it looks like, and then has the rotation, and the foot flexes back and forth and can twist side to side. So unfortunately, although he has like the least clothing, I figured he'd have some of the best movements, but unfortunately he does like some of the worst movements. But for his accessories, first off, we get that additional head, so we have one with the mouth not so open, so that'd probably be pretty good to have just normally. We get some additional hands, so first off, we have hands that have the hands more open like claw form, since he has what looks to be sort of like grips there already, and he comes with an additional set of grips, so I assume again with opposite, so these look like up and down, and he has hands look like back and forth ones. We get some of his weapons, so first we have his ball and chain flail, so the flail, so they got the ball there with the spikes all over, which is cool, on the chain piece with the handle there, so he can flail it around, so that's awesome. So let's go and stick this into his hand. So there it is hanging in his hand there, which is pretty cool. And we also get a shield as well. So a shield with a nice monkey head on it. So it's called a cannon shield. I don't know what that means exactly, but a nice shield with a brown outline, black in the center with the gold monkey head and the grip piece there in the back. So hopefully we can get this gripped into his hand pretty easily, which unfortunately feels like his hand is really stiff. So we'll probably have to heat it up or something to get it in there, unfortunately. So I can't put the shield in his hand, which I wanted to. And finally, he comes with a gun. So just one of the futuristic sort of guns they use in the show and stuff, all in purple. So he could probably stick this into his other hand, and the grip is too tight for that as well, so can't get that in there either, unfortunately, so that kind of stinks. But as I mentioned, he is a member of the Evil Mutants, so he's in the team along with Jackalman and Sly. So of course we already have these two figures, so we have our whole Evil Mutants team there of the bad guys to go along, of course, with Pomra. So that's pretty cool that we finally have our three main mutant characters there with Jackalman and Slythe and now Monkeyin, so that is pretty cool. So a good looking figure, but unfortunately has the worst movements, like I said, so overall I guess not a technically a good figure, but it looks really good. Well, there we have our ThunderCats Ultimates Wave 4 figures. We had some pretty cool figures in this wave. Obviously not the best, like I said, most well-known figures. It was cool to get Lynx-O and Monkeyin. Like I said, probably the two characters we need the most, so those are pretty cool. And like I said, I really like Monkeyin. He's probably the best figure out of this to go with the set, since he's like the most I know about, and I don't know too much about ThunderCats. And then also getting the Snowman, the big giant man there with the fur and all the cool ice accessories is awesome. And then Pomra just thrown in there as well. Like I said, just use him as a random ThunderCat. But overall, pretty decent wave once again. So like I said, not the best figures, don't have the best movements, but their looks are pretty dang cool, so I like them a lot. But let me know what you thought of the figures down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know with a thumbs up. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.